Hello, happy Sunday night, everybody. It's Sunday. Hope everybody had a great day. I think it's, well, it's spring. I think it might have been spring last Sunday. I don't remember, but it certainly is a little cold still. So, I'm still waiting for that springtime warmth to come in, but I'm sure it's going to be here soon. Who is that? Hey, Lisa. Linda, did you find me? Linda, I see Linda. That's a youngin' picture of you, Linda. You look great. So, okay, here we go. Welcome to Diana the Happy Lawyer Archives, episode 7. Yay, lucky number 7. I'm going to do a quick recap from last week, and then we'll get started for tonight. Last week's lesson was to dream big and start small. So I said that, dreams, that anybody can see what they want to do in their future, but a dream is really more like a vision, something that you see for yourself, something like you can't even imagine happening, something unbelievable. You don't even know how you're going to get there. I know I've been talking about Hacienda del Sol for weeks now. I'm still talking about it, and I talk about it every day because it's so beautiful, and I look at it, and I imagine myself there, and I have all kinds of machinations of, it's a vision. It's something that came to me. I wasn't even looking for it. It started with the expensive pen that made me think, who uses a $200 pen? Somebody lives in a $6 million house. So that's me. But the real vision that I see beyond that is, the real vision that I see for me in my dream is to be with the dogs. And I see myself going to all the different locations that I have of dog sanctuaries and greeting the dogs and all the people that are living wherever the location is and taking care of the dogs. And it's just so much unconditional love. It literally could bring tears to my eyes. I mean, Hacienda del Sol is nice, but the feeling I get of visualizing myself with the dogs and just saving all those dogs and finding homes for them, it moves me to a point of something, that would just be the greatest thing. It would be a purpose for my life to do that. So I also said last week that, you can dream big like I'm dreaming big, even if you have a crappy job that you don't like, even if you're 20 pounds overweight, even if you're not in a great relationship, that doesn't stop you from having big dreams. And that also you shouldn't let society determine what your dreams should be for you. If a lot of us, parents wanted us to do certain professions or jobs or go to college or whatever, yeah, just sorry, flashed a second of those girls whose parents bought their way through college, and they were going to do fine on the internet selling makeup, and now they're a disgrace. And why? Because their parents had dreams for them that didn't fit their dream for themselves, and now they're all in big trouble. I mean, what are you going to do? I don't understand people. Hey, Mike, how you doing? So those were the tips from last week about making sure you dream big enough. And the tip from last week was to write down all of your pros and write down all of your cons to your dream, and then turn your cons into confetti. I made that up on the spot, and I fell in love with it during the week. Turn your cons into confetti. This is what you should do with all the cons against any dream that you have. Just throw it up in the air. There you go. Turn your cons into confetti, and then all you're left with are the pros. The pros to your dream, all the positive things. Block out and forget all the negative stuff that could happen to stop you from your dream. Forget it. Just move along. So, and I think I discussed, writing stuff down. Just get an idea. Just think about it. Just look online to see what kind of information there is about you, whatever your dream would be, whether it's, being a professional baker or running a a fishing charter out of Sanibel Island, or whatever your dream might be. Just take information, look around. So this week what we're going to be talking about is finding the courage to take action. Now that you have your dream and you have looked and you've done some superficial research or talked to people or written stuff down, now the important thing is to actually take action on your dream, to move forward towards that dream. Even if it's small action, it's still, you need to start a flow of vibrational energy towards the dream. So what are the reasons? What are the reasons that we don't act to go towards our dreams, especially the crazy, impossible looking ones like living at Hacienda del Sol or having dog sanctuaries all over the country? A lot of people don't act because they're afraid. Now, I've been talking about fear for weeks. I'm sure it comes up in every lesson because fear is one of the things in our life that it's one of the strongest emotions that will block you, fear. And I know I said, we have nothing to fear but fear itself, and we talked about that phrase, and that some fears are unreasonable or irrational and all of that. But you know what? Fear is real. Fear is real. I don't want you to think that I'm just saying, oh, don't be afraid. Fear is real, and fear is important, because what you have to do is you have to acknowledge that fear and evaluate that fear and get past that fear. So this is the way that you're going to approach it. So, I mean, fears are good at times. It's why we don't go swimming in a hurricane, or some people do. They're just crazy. They should be afraid. And why we don't walk off of tall buildings, because, fear of falling and dying is real. So there are some fears that are real. So you should just appreciate those fears and evaluate them and determine whether or not they're something that's valid. Obviously, swimming in the ocean in a hurricane or walking off a building, not good. But a fear that to stop you from your dream, like a fear that you don't have enough knowledge or you don't know the right people, by looking into getting information about what you want to do, where you want to go, you can cure those fears. A lot of those fears are just kind of obstacles and challenges that you just have to figure out how to either go around or hurdle over or just blow right through them, to get to the other side of that, to get to your goal or your dream. The other reason that people don't act is it's easy to not act. I mean, let's face it, it's easy to just not do anything and just sit on the couch and watch TV, or, maybe if you're reading a book, people don't necessarily read the motivational books, the self-development books. Some people read fiction or, other stories, horror stories. There's more confetti. And those are good. I used to read Twilight Zone books when I was a kid. I loved them, but that was good imagination stuff. But people would rather do nothing than act because it's easier, and it's easy to make excuses to do nothing. You don't have the time, you don't have the connections, all of those things that I've been mentioning. So. Remember this: if you don't act, if it's easier to just do nothing, then your life is just going to stay the same. You'll not progress towards your dreams. And, if you're content with where you want to be, where you are right now, that's good. But a lot of people are not content. They hate their jobs. They don't like their lives. They don't like their relationships. A lot of people are self-medicating with alcohol and drugs. And there's a lot to be said for examining, whether or not you can still operate in that field where you're the life that you're in, even if it's not happy, and still take action to get towards happiness. You don't always have to get rid of all your family. I mean, obviously, if it's an issue that you have to get out of your life, if it's something that's that important, then you might have to. But really, acting is better than not acting if you want to change your situation. A lot of people don't act because they don't want to be disappointed. They don't want to start something. They don't want to get halfway there and then have stuff, not work out. Hi, everybody. Too many people coming on at once. Norman, Patrick, Ernie, hi. So people don't want to be disappointed. Here you go. Perfect example. Patrick Finn. This is somebody that just directed a play and put it on, in a small community theater. That is an amazing accomplishment, and that is because that was a dream. That's a dream he had. I mean, it's scary to put yourself out there and give it a shot and take the action. And even though, it might not be a success, things aren't always successes. There are no guarantees in life. When you're taking a risk, doing something because it's a dream of yours and you feel it inside of you, then you have to just go for it, and you risk the disappointment. Patrick's play was amazing because he put his heart into it, because he knew, and I've seen several plays that he's been in. I don't think I've ever seen one that I didn't like. That's what happens when you risk the disappointment or that it's not going to be great, because you still want to try it. You still want to figure it out. My brother Steven, he does stand-up comedy. Man, I tell you, that's got to be the scariest thing for me. I get up in front of juries. And, when I was first doing it, yeah, I was scared. And you rehearse and you do the best you can. And, you hope that you're not disappointed, and you hope that it comes out right. And, getting up in front of, when I got up in front of jurors, I was like an authority. I was the lawyer. I was going to tell them what to do. But my brother gets up in front of a room full of people, and, they're like, I paid $20. You better make me laugh. That's a little more intimidating to me. I don't know if I could do stand-up comedy. Maybe. I'm sure I could. But I'm a little scared of that. It's not one of my dreams. I guess I'm going to be like the motivational comic. Maybe that's me, Stephen. Maybe I'm the motivational comic. So, people don't want to act because they don't want to be disappointed. And a lot of other things that I've been commenting on, like not having the experience to do something. When I first started out as an attorney, this is my 7th episode. So my 7th deposition that I did, if you're an attorney, or if you're, it's where you take questions and answers from people. I was probably scared at my 7th deposition, and I'm sure I was scared when I had my 7th jury selection and when I had my 7th trial. And I got to tell you, I look forward to this all week long, and then on Sunday afternoon, I get scared. I have like a little fear that I'm going to mess up, that I'm going to sound stupid, that, I don't know. It's just, and that's why I walk down to the beach, because I get courage from the ocean. I see how big the ocean is, and I see how big the sand, all those grains of sand and all that water, and I think to myself, look how big this is out here, and I'm so teeny tiny that, how could I matter? Even if I made a mistake, even if I screwed everything up, compared to the universe, compared to everything going on, I'm such a tiny speck that I get over my fear by doing that, by walking down to the ocean and saying, this is so small in the grand scale of the universe, that how could I be afraid that I'm doing something I'm talking to 100 people? Really, it's so you have to find your courage where you can. For me, it's walking down to the ocean. Maybe it's, taking a walk in the woods, or maybe it's baking or doing gardening, anything that you're successful at. That's where you're going to feel your strength. Like, I think back now on all the years that I've been an attorney, and certainly anybody could hand me a deposition or a trial and I could walk in and start doing it. I'm not afraid anymore, because I have the experience. I have the success of doing that. So what I have to do now is I rely on the memory of those successful things that I've done to give me courage and encouragement to do this, what I'm doing now, something brand new, something completely, I am not a high-tech person. I'm lucky I can press the Facebook Live and hope it comes out right. I have somebody setting up, microphone and stuff. I'm going to get lights in here. I don't know how to do that stuff. I'll wing it. I'll see what happens. But, I'm getting help with that, because I don't know how to do all of that. So this is something that's totally new for me. It's scary. But I'm thinking about all the things I've done in the past that I've been successful at. And makes me think, I can do it. So think about those things. Go back in your mind. Think about other times that you've been successful at whatever it is. Throwing a party for somebody, skiing, even driving a car. When we all first started driving a car, we were all scared, probably. I hope. Because you had to have respect for that. You had to learn how to do it. You had to appreciate that you were doing something that was meaningful. And so at first you're scared, and then the more and more you do it, the less frightened you become. So, I'm hoping that I see Les Brown now. He still does 30-minute motivational talks. He just gets in front of a camera like this. It's very funny because, he's not used to that. That's not his generation, but he's doing it and he just does it like it's nothing, because to him it is nothing. He's probably done it 10,000 times. So for me, I'm only on number 7, and I'm having a great time. It's lots of fun. That's the other thing. Your dream, doing it and getting to it should be fun and exciting. If you have a dream and you're trying to get to it and you're being stopped because, oh, this isn't fun, this isn't exciting, this isn't moving me, maybe it's somebody else's idea of what you should do. Maybe it's the only thing that's available right now. If you're feeling something that's not a positive flow, then you need to reconsider and think, maybe this isn't my dream. Sometimes people have dreams that haven't come up yet. They don't really know what their dream is going to be. They're just kind of, floundering around, and maybe they have to do a little investigation. And this is the thing that you want to think about. Who are you? What are the things that you like to do? If you don't know and you don't have, an idea of what your dream would be or what your purpose is in life, do a little investigation. Talk to yourself. We all have inner talk. What is that called? Whatever. Inner speak, inner talk. So I'm not remembering the name right now. And that comes out a lot when you're by yourself. I mean, meditation is very big for that. I'll do another class on meditation another time. But people who are, when you sit by yourself and you listen to your own thoughts, that's when you start to hear the things that you want to do in life, the things that you want to become. And then you'll have a better vision of what your future is going to be. Now, the word courage itself actually comes from the root words in Latin and French for heart, corazon, coronary, all of those things, C-O-R, courage. It means of the heart. And, it's funny because last week when I talked about as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. The book by James Allen, a very small book that's very good, about how you think in your heart is how you are. And I was saying that a lot of people think with their brain, and the stuff that you think in your brain is usually the stuff that's going to stop you from following your heart. It's going to be the reasons why you can't do it, that you don't have enough skill, you don't have enough money, you don't have the right people. But you know what? When you have the courage and it's coming from your heart, all that stuff doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you don't have enough money to do it. You'll figure out a way. You'll find the right people. You'll get into groups. You'll put together something. It won't matter if your life now is perfect for the dreams of your heart, or if where you came from, your background, is opposite of what the dreams of your heart will be. It'll be something that if you feel it in your heart, then that's where courage is going to come from. The courage in your heart is what gets you past the fear. And I've been reading this week The Power of Positive Thinking by Norman Vincent Peale. Somebody told me it was outdated, but I got to tell you, excellent book. Excellent book. I'm in the middle of it now. I can't wait to finish it. And also I've been listening to it online at the same time. So it's interesting to read it and listen online at the same time. I get a double dose. And he was talking about a trapeze artist, which I thought was kind of funny because a couple of weeks ago, I said you can't swing from the trapeze if you're laying in the net. So here's the trapeze analogy. And the guy who's the student of the trapeze, and he's nervous, and his teacher says to him, throw your heart over the bar and your body will follow. And I tell you, it's so good. Throw your heart over the bar and your body will follow. So the bar is all of the obstacles that are keeping you from your dream, all of whatever excuses or reasons from yourself or other people that are stopping you from getting to your dream. And if you throw your heart over the bar, throw your heart over those obstacles, your body will follow. And I got to tell you, I wrote it down, and I'm going to be pasting it around my house. And a lot of times when we're doing something like this, well, like I said before, rip up all your cons and just keep the pros around. You have to constantly be reminded of the positivity that is going to come from you following your dreams. We are surrounded by negativity. There is a ridiculous amount of negativity going on. But if you are constantly reminding yourself of the positivity, then you will be able to replace that negativity. Once the negativity goes out, there's an empty space. You have to put something in that place or the negativity is going to come back in. So you have to fill it in with positivity. And I use things here. This is what I have. This is what I wrote now. It's going to be backwards for you. Throw your heart over the bar and your body will follow. I'm going to hang that up somewhere because I love it. This is another one that I had from Psycho-Cybernetics. It's going to be backwards. Not positive thinking, positive doing. Take action, act. And I put these things around my house. This is the one that I have on my computer, that post-it notes are the result of a failure. So whenever I get, discouraged, there's plenty of stuff around for me to look at and see all the different things that are going to make me feel hopeful and positive. And, people talk about affirmations. Everything you say is an affirmation. If you say today is going to suck, that's an affirmation. If you say traffic is going to be bad, if you say I hate my job, all of those things are affirmations. Everything you say is an affirmation. You're affirming the truth of that statement. So pay attention that affirmations that you're saying are positive affirmations, not negative affirmations. Excuse me. And have the courage to make changes in your life. If you don't change anything, everything is going to stay the same. Have the courage to be who you are, whoever you are. There is a woman named Louise Hay, and she passed away. Very, very good, very important, a lot of affirmations. You can just listen to affirmations by Louise Hay and you'll hear stuff that, you've never heard, and they're just so good, and you just can't help but go, wow, that's great. She does this thing called mirror work. Mirror, M-I-R-R-O-R. See there's my, what do I call it? Mirror on the wall that I got from Patrick and Steve. Thank you. Mirror on the wall. So mirror work is when you go in front of the mirror alone and you say, I love you. And you just say it over and over, I love you, I love you. And a lot of people have a difficult time doing that because they don't love themselves. They have a lot of problems with that. But to go further with the mirror work, talk to yourself, literally stare into the mirror and talk about what your dreams are. And you don't have to tell anybody these things. The word secret and the word sacred are also similar root words. The secrets of your heart is what is sacred to you. So you don't have to share them with people. A lot of times people will, discourage you from the secrets of your heart. So if they are meant to be secret for a while until you feel more confident talking to other people about it, then do that. That's, really important to protect yourself from outside influences that are going to change you. And the bottom line also is just be you, be yourself. You can look at other people. I listen to Les Brown all the time, and, Jim Rohn keeps coming up, and Tony Robbins. There's a million people. A million. There's people you never even heard of. People I never even heard of, and I've been studying this stuff for 6 years. And I can listen to all of them, but I have to just be me. And that's from my heart, because that's the only place it's going to come from. And don't compare yourself to other people. What if I said, oh my God, I'll never be like Tony Robbins? I think a couple of weeks ago I said I could be as big as Tony Robbins. I could. But if you start saying, oh, well, Tony Robbins is already doing it, there's not room for me there. Or, I'm not as good a baker as somebody. I'm not as good a, whatever, a painter or songwriter, whatever it is, director, comedian. If you start comparing yourself to other people, you're going to miss the point that they are never going to be you and you are never going to be them. You have to just be yourself. And Les Brown, again, I have him in my car all week. He specifically talks about being a motivational speaker and getting out and doing what you want to do for yourself. And he says, and he screams, he's so great, I can't do it like him, but I'll tell you what he says. You have to go out and sing the song that can only be sung by you. And write the book that can only be written by you. Start the business that can only be started by you. And help the people that can only be helped by you. You have greatness in you. That's Les's famous line. You have greatness in you. And that greatness can come out in any way that you want it to. And you can start with small groups. You can start big groups. You know, there's a lot to be said for taking ads in the paper, writing a news article, publish something even in a local paper if you wanted to start writing. Join groups. Be yourself. Find out what you like to do and follow that dream if you don't know what your dream already is. Now, my tip for the week, I'm really trying to I'm trying to keep it down to a half an hour, as we know, and I'm doing pretty good. There's going to be hard times again. I don't want to make it sound all Pollyanna. You know, everybody's like, oh, Diana, it's so easy for you. You know what? It is easy for me because I make it easy for me. It can be as easy as you want it to be, or it can be as hard as you want it to be. You can constantly put in the, oh, yeah, you can do that, but I can't do that. I would do that, but I don't have the money, or I can't do that because I have a full-time job and I don't have other time to do it. The buts and becauses are going to stop you when you hear yourself using those words, the but and because. It means you're about to make an excuse for why you can't do the thing that is promised in your heart. And you have to find the courage in your heart to get past that. Another Norman Vincent Peale great line that I had this week. He was discussing, he was out golfing with a guy and his ball went in the rough and he was like, oh God, I'm never going to be able to hit that. And the guy who was golfing with said, hey, aren't you the positivity guy? What are you talking about? What do you mean now you can't hit a golf ball? You don't have any positive thoughts about that? And he joked about it and they laughed about it. And he said, the guy's friend said, just imagine as if you're hitting it like it's in a perfect lie and it's just going to go smoothly and you use the right club and just swing and make the right hit. And he said something to him, which I wrote down and is going to be standing around in my putting up against the wall again. The rough is only mental. The rough is only mental. That's going on I have a mantle that I hang stuff up, so I see it all the time. The rough is only mental. So how rough you want to make this on yourself is in your mind. A lot of people I talk to and a lot of people I've seen exposed to this kind of positive thinking and stuff, they will instantly attract to it. It'll go right away. And some people will, it'll take a long time for them. So I'm going to be showing you what we're talking about is you're putting out vibrational energy and the vibrational energy of your desire is coming back to you. So here are two magnets that I have. This is the positive side. This is the negative side. Okay, the negative has white on it. Okay, so this is you and this is your dreams. And this is what happens when you get magnetized. Now, ready? See? Can you see what's happening? Can you see the... Okay. I'm going to show you again. Look really close. Can you see the vibrational waves going back and forth? Can you see them pulling towards each other? Can you see, what is it? What color is it? Blue? Red? Yellow? No. Those are positive signs. Here's negatives. When you're being negative. Ready? Let's see. Look at the negatives. Oh, look at those negative waves. Can you see them? Can you see those negative waves? No. You can't see them. Because they're invisible. Because what you're talking about is something you can't see. You have to have the faith that it's going to come to you. Here's a positive and a negative. Here, you see them pushing against each other? You see all those waves? I'll put it right up. Can you see them? Can you see them? No. Because they're invisible. They're in the air. We know as hard as I push, I'm not going to be able to get this positive and negative to touch. They're in the air. And here they are. Ready? Look at that. Look how far away I can go. This is how far you can be from your dream. Oh. And still have it come right to you based on invisible forces that you can't see, okay? That's called faith, being able to believe in something that you can't see. I just want you to look quickly around your room. I'm looking around my room. You see all the stuff, all the furniture and everything, all the tables and chairs? That's all vibrational energy. And now I want you to look in the rest of the room where all the open space is. How much of the furniture is really taking up the space in the room? For me, it's probably only about 10 or 15%. That means there's like 85 or 90% of available vibrational waves that are going all around me that are pulling these magnets together. Woo! You can't see them. but they're there. They're in the air. They're pulling these magnets together. And they're also working with the vibrational waves that you're sending off with regard to your dreams. If you're pulling your dream towards you, it is coming towards you. If you're pushing it away, it's going to push away. And you're never going to be able to see what's actually happening because it's just happening. It's happening by the vibrational waves that are in the air. They're all around us. There's more vibrational waves in open space than any place else. So, that might be a little far out for some people, but it's true. You can't deny that this is happening. We not be able to see that. It's also happening with people. We're all magnets. We're all magnets to attract what we want, whether it's negative or positive. It doesn't matter. Negative or positive. And if you have a positive thing and you're shooting negative vibes at it, it's never going to come to you. So keep that in mind. So what I want you to do, the tip for the end of the week for next week is to have courage about taking the next steps of what you want to do. And I want you to imagine that you won that, whatever that millionaire lottery was, the $750,000 million. $750 million. I want you to make believe that you won that. And if you won that, what would you do? If money was not an object, if you had all the money in the world, if you won that $750 million lotto, and you could live out your dreams, what would your dreams be? Would it be to travel? Would it be to have dog parks? Would it be to open your own theater on Broadway and be a director? That's what you should do. And I want you to write that down. And I want you to write down what you would do like nobody's reading it. Write it down like nobody's reading it. This is how you're going to get in touch with yourself about what you're really doing. And if you can't think of anything, or if you're like, oh, I would just buy houses or blah, 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 then maybe you're not in touch with what your dreams are yet. So think about it. Think about it through the week, and think about what else it would be if you wanted to do something. If you could live your dream life, if you had $750 million, what could it be? What would you attract to you? And how would you live that out? Okay, so that's the end of the show tonight. Da-da-da-da, half an hour. I'm getting better at this half an hour thing. So the quick recap was to use your heart. Use your heart. Your courage. The word courage means from the heart. Take your heart and throw it over the obstacles that are in the way from your dreams, and then your body will follow. The rough is only mental. Peter, you're a golfer. The rough is mental. So it's going to be as easy as you think it is, or as hard as you think it is. And then that's not to say, again, I'm not going to own Hacienda del Sol tomorrow. Might take 5 years. Might take years for the dog parks to be in place. But it doesn't matter. I'm still taking steps forward, and I'm acting with my heart. I know now, after reading these books, I'm learning every day too. I mean, it's amazing how much I'm learning. Feel with your heart what your dreams are, and don't let your brain block you and stop you from doing the things that your heart believes that you should do. Okay, so that's it. It's 8:32. I'm going to stop because I'm really trying hard to do this. And last week, even when I said I stopped, I kept going. But I'm going to stop, and I will look forward to seeing everybody next Sunday at 8 o'clock. I'm not sure what the lesson will be, but I usually think about it on Wednesday or Thursday, and then I start advertising it. So thank you, everybody. I love you all, and love is all you need. Bye.